Okay, here's another reflection on, behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord, may it be done to me according to your word. It's the third one in that section. June 19th, 2025. My teaching philosophy has been shaped by two things: my circumstances and my deep reading of those writers who have written about teaching and learning. Each of these forms my teaching methods, ruminations on the experiences of teaching and learning, and my transubstantiating philosophy. Transubstantiation is a Catholic theological concept designed to help understand the mystery of the Eucharist as really the body of Christ. See John 6:55 through 56 and 1 Corinthians 11:24-25. But also really bread and wine to ordinary senses. With no expertise in Aquinas' philosophical methods, it was explained to me in my youth that the substance of the bread and wine, what it most deeply is, ideally and spiritually, changes, while the accidents, its material realities, including its molecules, stay the same. This makes sense to me through Plato's conception of forms, and I have at least read and understand Platonic forms. A common illustration might run like this. A perfect right triangle exists in an ideal realm. That is, in the realm of ideas. If you draw a right triangle on a page, or cut one out of wood, however carefully and crafty you are, it cannot be an entirely perfect triangle. There will be imperfections, perhaps undetectable mistakes in angle, or bumps in the drawn line, or a splinter in the cut wood, resulting from the wood's growth lines. One can easily imagine that the perfect right triangle only truly exists in the mind, and then, in its actualization, it is less perfect. The greater perfection we can attain through skilled artistry, or the aids of human-made computer programs and other tools, reaches to draw more of the ideal into reality, but always persistently and oft unnoticed but potentially noticeable imperfections. No Platonic thinker would ever be fooled into the tech utopia that's prevailing in today's American civilization. To turn a Platonic conception back onto the Eucharist, it might be said that the perfect form of the bread, the wine, and the wine is fulfilled and becomes in the reality and ideally the body and blood of Christ, while the material remains somewhat less as the mere artistic rendering of that perfect form. I'm nearly sure both ways I outline the Eucharist are in some ways imperfect and possibly heretical. This is the risk any Christian philosopher must take, with humility, of course, but we must indeed wrestle with these things. Teaching and learning also have an ideal form which is never realized in actual pedagogical instances. With real teachers and students, what matters in my experience in theorizing is the pedagogical practice of enacting teaching and learning techniques that open room for the ideal beautiful, good, and true, or at least those words in ideal verbs, such as truing of the Beatitudes, the gooding of the Father's love for the Son, and the beautying, light, sweetness, and breath and song and life. What does it mean for a universal to be a verb and not a noun? This is a great question I have wrestled with these past many months because I have an intuition that there are ideals. We humans target these ideals as much as a katydid targets an evening porch light, but also that these ideals must not be stagnant, dead things. That intuition emerges from art. Dante's heaven is in motion, a verb, and hell is ossified, frozen, an unmoving thing, like the noun by itself. This feels true to me prior to any logicking on my part. A frozen heaven is not heaven, and an ideal cannot be a noun without also being hell.